To begin this evening's show, we're going to go to Woodbine Raceway in Toronto. We're going to have a look at a very cold afternoon on Sunday.
Very cold, Lloyd. In fact, so much so that on Sunday the horses weren't even post-parading. They were reporting to the track and going directly to the starting gate. So that shows you how cold it was.
Having a look here at the field, Greg, the early favorite, Alimony, a late scratch.
In this Fillies and Mares Open, number 1, Alimony scratched. I'm not sure if it was the weather and the extreme cold or not, but that was certainly good news for the rest of the field here. Alimony was on a 2-race win streak, last time in 155-2 with the last quarter 27-3. With the scratch, number 5, Chip of the Cur inherits the role of the favorite going in. Second, her last 2 starts, and the 2 starts before that winning over this group. So she will be the favorite. Number 2, Classy River Gal, another mare who's raced this class all along and has done well. The outsider, possibly number 3, Tricky Tushy. Rumpus Hanover mare with a great brush of speed. Last time out finishing 3rd using a last quarter 27-1 with that same late kick. Could be a threat in here.
And the gate is now rolling. Classy River Gal occupies the inside for Bill O'Gale with Tricky Tushy next and Steve Condren. Then 3 For Your Lady for Roger Mayotte in the middle. Chip of the Cur with Randy Waples, and on the outside, Truly A Lady for John Brooks. It's post time for the 10th. 10th race, Mares Open Field, is up on the gate, picking up speed, and here they come. They're off and pacing. On the outside, Chip of the Cur is moving fastest away. Chip of the Cur looks to be first off the wings. Along the inside is Classy River Gal. Truly a Lady is up on the outside, sprinting on towards the front. Then Tricky Tushy and 3 For Your Lady was last away. Chip of the Cur has got the lead. Truly a Lady is on the outside there and has to go on to look for the lead. Truly a Lady working up, looks to take over at the quarter pole. Chip of the Cur is yielding to sit back in second with Classy River Gal in third. A spirited 28-3 opener, and Truly a Lady is on top going to the backstretch. Chip of the Cur in for the 2-hole trip, and Classy River Gal in the lead trio. 2 more lengths, it's Tricky Tushy, then 3 For Your Lady is from 5th. Towards the half, Truly a Lady is open 2 now there, but Chip of the Cur again tightens in from 2nd. Classy River Gal is in 3rd. And then it's back to Tricky Tushy, who is very fresh back there, along with 3 For Your Lady going to the outside from 5th. 58-3 halfway home, and the flow is shaping up, angling out from 3rd. Classy River Gal is going to try to go on uncovered. In pursuit of the pace setter, Truly a Lady. Truly a Lady goes to the last turn. Classy River Gal came first up, and now to wait for room in the stretch drive will be Chip of the Cur, and then it's back to Tricky Tushy and 3 For Your Lady. Truly a Lady on the inside. Classy River Gal on the outside. Chip of the Cur wants out big time, and she's angling out through the seam to roll 3 wide. Past 3/4, 128-1 as Classy River Gal has taken over. Classy River Gal now the leader with an 8th to go. Chip of the Cur staying covered up tactfully there until deep stretch. It's Classy River Gal. Chip of the Cur. Tricky Tushy is brushing well in between and is running out of room to race. Classy River Gal staying very game. Classy River Gal, Tricky Tushy, Classy River Gal in front. Tricky Tushy second. Truly a Lady looked for 3rd over Chip of the Cur. 159-4.
Classy River Gal and Billy Gale holding off a late attack from Tricky Tushy.
An excellent stretch drive in there, and Tricky Tushy, I think, had she gotten out earlier, would have been the winner in that race. Just goes to show you, even with that long stretch and a short field, you can still encounter some traffic problems. Number 4, Chip of the Cur, wasn't as good today as she had been. A mare who likes the front end, and with the 2-hole trip, didn't seem to fire like usual. But look for her again next week with the warmer weather conditions.
We're going to go now to the Charlottetown Driving Park and have a look at race number 8 from Saturday afternoon's card. The early favorite, Silverwood Diane, with Brian McPhee on board.
Silverwood Diane will be leaving from the 7 post in this race. Will be the betting favorite. Winner last time by 4.5, 205-2. Showed some of her old form in that race. Another horse who will get some attention in this race is number 4, Sale of the Century. Another good race mare. Paul McDonald's been doing the driving there. And she likes the front end, and in this race will probably be going for the top. Number 1, Denacton Nukes, the sleeper in here, a horse who came into his own late last season in the fall months and into the winter, and a very solid racehorse with a nice late kick, and watch for him in here as well.
Race 8, top of the stretch, has 1 Denaston Nukes, 2 MB Ron Rico, 3 Boomel, 4 Sail of the Century, 5 Power Boom, 6 Final Flight End, 7 outside Silverwood Dance, trailing horse 8 Woodmere Chipper. Here they come. Pixar Sail of the Century, quickest away is the early leader. Final Flight End going upon the outside to grab second. Silverwood Diane wide. Third MB Roderico is showing fourth. From 5 is Woodmere Chipper. They go racing up the backstretch. First time on their way to the opening quarter. Sail of the Century has the field by 2. There goes Silverwood Diane hustling up on the outside. Park second. Final Flight End racing it along the rail third. From 4, MP Roderico. Woodmere Chipper looks out at fifth. And Ashton Nukes Boomel and the Power Boom trails 29 and 3 by the opening quarter. Off the top turn they come. Sail of the Century showing the way up front. Here comes Final Flight End moving up on the outside a second. Silverwood Diana's racing it along the rail third. Wide fourth is Woodmere Chipper. MB Roderico from 5. Denaston Nukes Boomel and the Power Boom is trailing. They race past the half in a minute flat, going to the 5/8 mark. Sail of the Century still on top. Final Flight End up to on the outside. Silverwood Diana's racing it along the rail. There goes Woodmere Chipper, 3 wide fourth. They're on the backstretch, second and final time. Sail of the Century is your leader by the 3/4. Silverwood Diana's racing second and B Ron Rico. Denaston Nukes is going up on the extreme outside, 3 wide now third. 1:31 and 3 by the 3/4. They have an 1/8 of a mile left to go. Sail of the Century on top. Silverwood Diane, Denaston Nukes on the outside, and B Roderico in the passing lane. Sail of the Century's taking. Sail of the Century to win a second MB Ron Rico. Silverwood Diane for 3.
Sail of the Century holding off a very aggressive attack from Calvin McQuarrie and MB Ron Rico.
Big effort there for Sail of the Century. A very gritty performance off that opening half in a minute, and holding off a bunch of oncomers there on the stretch, winning it wire to wire the way she likes it. That should make owner Claire Sweet much happier than he was last weekend in the curling in Montague in the final 8s. But nonetheless, congratulations to Claire on a great job with Sail of the Century and in making the final 8s in the curling.
We're going to have a look now, Greg, at some weekly maritime stats from the Maritime Provinces and the Ontario Jockey Club. The action really starting to heat up across the racetracks here in Canada. Dougie Brown dominating the Ontario Jockey Club circuit early in the year.
Dominating is a good word for it right at this point, Lloyd. Just phenomenal numbers for this early in the year. 45 wins, 21 wins ahead of his nearest competitor. And just picking up where he left off last year, a season which saw Doug Brown win over 400 races and crack the top 10 in dash wins and money earnings in North America.
The action in Truro was extremely hot as well, Greg.
Excellent battle shaping up there early. Just one win separating the top 3 there. Robert Laffin with a short lead, 15 wins. And with one more win, in fact, than Robert up the road, leading the Maritimes at this point is Brian Moore at Exhibition Park Raceway. Off to a terrific start there with fewer programs raced and 16 driving wins.
We're going to have a look at Brian Moore here in the upcoming race from Exhibition Park Raceway. He's driving the number 4 entry, Township Boots.
You should have a shot in there too, Lloyd, with Township Boots from the four-post. Horse has been racing well, first and second in his last two starts. The one I like is number 1, Rennie's Fella, from the island here, owned by Rolly Larkin of Hunter River. Walter Chevrolet traveling over to get the drive with the rail post and his early speed. I think will be sitting first or second and should have a good shot at winning this one.
Now the starter has the horses. Race number 3. Field of 7. 1, Rennie's Fella. 2, Sit and Wave. 3, Paris Hustler. 4, Township Boots. 5, Lonesome Billy. 6, Time to Fight. The outside 7, Paco. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Township Boots gets the first call. Lonesome Billy from the outside and down at the rail. Rennie's Fella now gets away to second. Lonesome Billy the outside third. Racing in fourth, Sit and Wave, followed by Paris Hustler, Time to Fight, and Paco as the field goes by the opening eighth and pacing down the backstretch for the opening quarter. On top and cutting it out is Township Boots. Lonesome Billy driving hard second on the outside. Then it's Rennie's Fella. Sit and Wave has fourth, back to Paris Hustler from 5. Then racing sixth. That is Time to Fight, and Paco trails by the opening quarter in 29 and 4. Rounding the turn for the 3/8 with Township Boots. Now on the inside, racing in second is Lonesome Billy. Then racing third, Rennie's Fella. On the outside, Paris Hustler now comes to fourth. Sit and Wave racing in fifth, Time to Fight, and Paco now moving on the outside as well as they approach the half with Township Boots. Paris Hustler charging up on the outside to second and driving for the lead as they go by the half in 1:02. It's still Township Boots and Paris Hustler. Lonesome Billy sitting pretty in third. Then up to fourth on the outside goes Time to Fight. Racing in fifth, Rennie's Fella. Sit and Wave and Paco starts to move from the back of the pack. They go down the back stretch for the final time. On their way to the three-quarters, and Paris Hustler shows a nose on top. Holding his ground second on the inside, though, is Township Boots. Back to the lead. Lonesome Billy locked in third. Then on the outside, Time to Fight fourth. Three-quarters, 1:33 and 4. Rennie's Fella, Sit and Wave, and Paco as they go around the final turn. Township Boots back to the lead. Paris Hustler trying to chase him down on the outside. Lonesome Billy now to third, looks to tip out 3 wide, and Rennie's Fella close at fourth. They come off the top turn and race down the stretch. Township Boots, Paris Hustler, and Lonesome Billy. Rennie's Fella, no place to go. Sit and Wave moving at the rail as well. But Township Boots trying to hold off Rennie's Fella to the line. Township Boots over Rennie's Fella. And it looks like Sit and Wave for 3 in the time for the mile. 2:05 and 2.
Township Boots and Brian Moore, 2:05.
Brian Moore continues his hot hands over at Exhibition Park Raceway, just nosing out Rennie's Fella, who won a big trip there for Walter Chevrolet. A little bit of traffic trouble in the lane, got through just a little bit too late.
We're going to have a look now at our weekly driver profile.
This week we visit a driver from the west end of the island up Augusta and Coles Way, Pat Murphy, always jovial, a bit of a character around the racetrack. And we meet Pat in this week's driver profile.
When did you first get your license?
I was 17. I started in Sackville Downs, Nova Scotia. Yeah.
And your first win, who did you get that with?
A horse by the name of Blackjack Brass. Yeah, I just moved him down the backside and went by about 10. It was easy. I just thought it was easy.
Pretty happy?
Yeah, I was happy, yeah. The next race down there, I went down. Well, my dad always had horses. He raced with Francis McIsaac, and he raced with Joe Hennessy and Wally and Jody and Gordy and the boys there. And I went with Bays Away when I was young in Summerside for a couple of years, and I just started jogging there, and then I went with the Hennessy boys in Charlottetown. In the last 10 years, I was with Gary McDonald. It was just back and forth to Sackville, and then it closed. Just from there on, my brothers, my family, and that's where I've come from, I guess, over the years. I trained horses for years. Me and Gordy Hennessy moved down Sackville Downs in 1978, 79. He drove them, I looked after them, and he traveled back and forth. And then just from there on, like, come on my own, like, when I was 14 out down there. And I always looked up to the Hennessy boys and Gary McDonald. He's been one of my, and the Whalens, them fellas there helped me along, you gotta, when you're down, you can always go to one of them fellas there and they'll kind of bring you up, eh? And there's more downs in this business than there is ups, that's for sure, because, you know, it takes a lot to go around, eh? Like, everybody's got to stick together, and we got to work together. We can't be like one track's closing, and, you know, we got to keep going. Kennel Classic set the maritime trot record, and it was a good day for me, and like I was happy, I was thrilled, like, you know, beside myself.
That's a quarter better than 30 and 2, a new track record. Kennel Classic's got a shot. Kennel Classic by 10. Kennel Classic by 11 open legs. Right down to the wire. Kennel Classic on top and trotting away.
Yeah, I trained her home there. Joe Small's got her along as a Quilly, and I took her over there, and my brother Huey, he's a good fellow too. He's used me good over the years. Everybody wants to win the Gold Cup and Saucer, I guess. I never ever drove in it, but my father had 2 horses in it, and Mother Mac and Mr. Joldy, and they both were second. But maybe someday if I get lucky enough and get the right horse, and I hope to win that. It's hard to get owners. You got to get owners. There's got to be more racing. There's got to be more early and late closures. Like there's got to be, you know, more of them. Like them claiming horses, like that don't deserve as much credit as they should get. They should get the more claiming races going on in the Maritimes, you know. It's things like that that's got to happen. We got to all get together, and we got to, you know, we got to stand by. Everybody's got to become together. They can't be fighting and arguing, and, you know. That's the way I look at it.
Pat Murphy, a few interesting comments there, Greg.
Well, Lloyd, Pat's a very interesting guy, no doubt about it. And Pat's had a lot of luck over his career, especially with the trotter Kennel Classic. Pat winning the Dairy Queen 3-year-old trot with Kennel Classic, and going on to set a track record at Charlottetown in 2:01. Pat just moved his stable from St. John's Exhibition Park Raceway to Truro. He's going to try his luck there, and we wish Pat all the best.
We're going to have a look now at a race from Truro Raceway. It came up in race number 10 on Thursday evening, and Pat has the 2-hole in here with Classy Win.
Classy Win. Pat gets the 2 post here and goes off as a bit of a long shot, though, one of the longer shots in this field. Will need a good trip, I think, to do well in here. Number 1 May Contain, the better's choice with the rail position. Should be going directly to the front, and when he gets there, he's always tough to beat.
Race 10, top of the stretch, as May Contain, Classy Win, Miss Ruby Mac, Parkhurst, Ultimate Speed, Coltsgate, Skip, and Island Link. They are off and pacing. May Contain in along the rail. It's a way to grab the early lead up on the outside. That's Parker's driving out, looking for a good early spot. Classy Win comes away racing third. In along the rail, settling in, is Miss Ruby Mac in the 4 spot. Ultimate Speed comes away 5. Coltsgate Skip has 6. And 7th and trailing is Island Link. On down the backstretch, single file fashion as they approach the quarter. May Contain is out front and will set the early tempo. Leads it by 2 lengths. Over Parkhurst, who races second. In along the rail, Classy Win third. Ultimate Speed coming first out 4th. Followed by Coltsgate Skip on the limb 5. Miss Ruby Mac shuffle back to 6, and Island Link in the move from the back of the field. 30 and 3 was the quarter. They round the top turn, approaching the half. And driving up on the outside, looking for the top spot, is Ultimate Speed. May Contain at the rail. Ultimate Speed is driving up now to clear the lead. Second at the rail. That's May Contain. Then a gap of 2.5 lengths to Parkhurst racing third. The outside Coltsgate Skip is 4th. Classy Win at the rail has 5. Island Link racing from 6th. And Miss Ruby Mac is 7th and trailing. They head for the backside for the final time. The half in a minute and 2/5 seconds. Ultimate Speed leads it by 1 length. May Contain is in pursuit second. Outside Coltsgate Skip advancing up to third. Parkhurst at the rail is traveling 4th. Island Link has 5. 6th is Classy Win. 3 wide from the back comes Miss Ruby Mac. They race on to the top turn. Ultimate Speed is trying to hold them off. May Contain now abandons the pocket and moves up looking to reclaim. Out there 3 wide comes Coltsgate Skip. They race off the top turn. Less than 1/8 to come. 1:30 and 4 the 3/4. Ultimate Speed leads them home. Here comes May Contain on the outside. Second, Coltsgate Skip third. Ultimate Speed, May Contain, Coltsgate Skip. Miss Ruby Mac on the far outside. May Contain gets the last call. It's close for second. We'll have to wait for the picture.
May Contain using a very well-timed drive from Dave Carey, 2:02.
And needed every bit of it there. Just getting up to beat Ultimate Speed, who was a very game second in that race. may contain, benefiting though from that rail post, getting the short victory, and they all count.
Let's go back once again to the Charlottetown Driving Park and take a look at race number 10 from their Saturday afternoon card. The early favorite seemed to be the 3-horse, CR Dirty Dancer.
CR Dirty Dancer will be the favorite going in just off his last most recent chart lines. As recent as 2 starts ago, raced horses like Garvin's Playboy, who is now at the Meadowlands, Allen's Birthday. Took the drop down last week, was finished second, but was beaten by a very good Silverwood Diane. Should bounce back better this week. Second choice in the betting will probably be number 8, Raised Emotions. Brian Andrew driving as usual. Raised Emotions from the 8-post should get a good trip, maybe there in the end.
Race 10, top of the stretch, has 1, Rustico Tri-Blanche, Chinook Rockford 8, 3, Singer Dirty Dancer, 4, Good Cheer, 5, Keystone My Star, 6, Moldova, 7 outside, Bellman's Dream, trailing horse 8, Raised Emotions. Here they come. They're off and pacing, Rustico Tri-Blanche, first to show as they drive into the first turn. Rustico Tri-Blanche, your early leader out front, 3 wide behind the leader, Raised Emotions inside second. CR Dirty Dancer on the outside third, Model Last wide in 4. Nick Rafferty comes away 5th. They race to the opening quarter. Rustico Tri-Blanche shows the way up front. Up to on the outside, CR Dirty Dancer looking for the Leganza. As they move now to the 3/8 mark, CR Dirty Dancer on top. Rustico Tri-Blanche racing second, Raised Emotions third. 4th is a Model Last, Nick Rafferty 5th. The rest of the field well back, Keystone My Star, Good Cheer, and the Bellman's Dream. 30-2 by the opening quarter. They approach the half-mile mark, and CR Dirty Dancer taking them halfway home. Racing second is Rustico Tri-Blanche. There goes Raised Emotions wide third, Model Last outside in 4. Keystone My Star powers up on the outside in 5. Then Nick Rafferty, Good Cheer, and the Bellman's Dream trailing half a mile a minute for 5th. They're on the backstretch, second and final time. Raised Emotions alongside CR Dirty Dancer. Those two go battling neck and neck as they get on by the 3/4 mile mark. CR Dirty Dancer inside, Raised Emotions on the outside. They take their battle to the 7/8 mark. Keystone My Star is now showing third. 1:33 by the 3/4 mile mark. They have an 1/8 of a mile left to go. CR Dirty Dancer on top. Raised Emotions. Here comes Keystone My Star in the passing lane. They race it out to the stretch, right down to the wire. It's gonna be CR Dirty Dancer to win it. Keystone My Star second. Third belongs to Raised Emotions.
CR Dirty Dancer and Ronnie Gass outdueling Keystone My Star for a 2:04-2 victory.
That was a great stretch duel, too, all the way down the stretch. And CR Dirty Dancer showing a bit of class there, holding on throughout and winning by a short neck there, 2:04-2. A very good time for that field.
Let's travel across the boat and up the highway to Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John. We're going to have a look at race number 5 on Saturday afternoon's card. The number 6 horse in here, Pegasus Apple, appears to be the early bettor's choice.
Pegasus Apple will be the favorite going in, racing very well. Winless so far in 95, but has been knocking at the door and shows some very good times. And number 7, the other outside horse, Broken Glass, with driver Todd Treitz, also one to watch and will probably be second choice. Number 1 is R.E.'s Lois, Rolly Larkin's other horse racing on the day, has the rail post again, and Walter Chevrolet driving. Shows some good times a few starts back, hasn't been as good lately, but could possibly come up with a big effort today.
The starter has the horses, race number 5, a field of 7. 1, R.E.'s Lois, 2, Paris Motion, 3 is Markham Tech, 4, J.L. Cook, 5, Miss Levy Road, 6, Pegasus Apple, the outside 7, Broken Glass. Here they come. They're off and pacing R.E.'s Lois. Quickly to the front, Paris Motion's going to grab a seat second. From the outside, Pegasus Apple gets away in third. Then it's Markham's Tech. Up on the outside now to 5th is Broken Glass, followed by J.L. Cook. And the early trailer is Miss Levy Road. They go by the 8th and down the backstretch for the opening quarter. R.E.'s Lowest shows the way. Paris Motion racing in second, Pegasus Apple third. Then it's Markham's Tech and J.L. Cook. Broken Glass on the outside and Miss Levy Road. And now Paris Motion, not content to sit second, grabs the front on the outside by the opening quarter in 31 seconds flat. Rounding the 3/8 turn with Paris Motion now on top. R.E.'s Lowest racing in second. On to third is Pegasus Apple. Then it's Markham's Tech and R.E.'s Lowest in the pocket. Then it's Pegasus Apple third. J.L. Cook now comes to fourth on the outside. Markham's Tech has fifth. Then racing sixth, Miss Levy Road, and far back to Broken Glass as they go down the backstretch for the final time. Paris Motion is the one to catch. R.E.'s Lowest sitting pretty in second. Pegasus Apple third. Then it's J.L. Cook, Markham's Tech, Miss Levy Road, and Broken Glass. 3/4, 1:34 and 1. Paris Motion still by a length and a half. R.E.'s Lowest content to sit the pocket. Racing in third, Pegasus Apple. Then J.L. Cook, Miss Levy Road, Markham's Tech, and Broken Glass. Here comes R.E.'s Lowest now up to challenge. They swing off the top turn, Paris Motion and R.E.'s Lowest. Pegasus Apple has third, and now R.E.'s Lowest moves on to the top. Paris Motion battling back, but R.E.'s Lowest is going to win it. Paris Motion for second, and Pegasus Apple 4-3. The time for the mile, 2:05.
R.E.'s Lowest and Walter Chivery sitting calmly in the pocket second and striking deep in the stretch.
That was a better effort for R.E.'s Lois, using the rail post to her advantage, coming up with the big win there in 2:05, notching her first win so far in the 95 season.
Perhaps, Greg, you can tell us a little bit about our feature this week.
This week, we had a chance to catch up with Isabel McPhee, parimutuel manager at the Charlottetown Driving Park, from this past Sunday when the CDP offered a dual simulcast card from Truro and Woodbine, something they've been experimenting with the past few weeks. We asked Isabel to go over the better trends which are developing, and also had a chance to talk firsthand with some parimutuel sellers and see if they could give us some insight into better trends.
Simulcasting was first introduced on PEI last winter when the CDP began taking in races from the OJC. Since then, it's become a weekly part of racing at both Charlottetown and at the Summerside Raceway. In fact, the CDP has gone a step further by offering a double simulcast of both Truro and Woodbine on Sunday afternoons. This has provided a good opportunity to compare the two markets and see where the betting trends lie.
Right now, from probably the last month's wager on Saturday and Sunday, it's looking that they probably prefer Woodbine 2-1 over Truro.
I find that the Woodbine races seem to draw more money, more interest from the bettors.
Now, do they bet more tickets on Truro or Woodbine?
I would say that the tickets are equally numbered between both tracks, but I would say there's more money bet on the Woodbine races, especially in the win place and show pool as opposed to the features.
It appears at this point that most of the money being bet on the Woodbine races is going into the larger win place and show pools. Meanwhile, in the Truro Raceway, most of the money on their parimutuel handle seems to be going into the features.
Well, I find them betting heavier win tickets in Woodbine, with the combination tickets of that sort. More triactors at a Truro.
Is that right? More features from Truro, just because they're offering more, do you think?
Truro offers more triactors, so that's naturally you find it there. But we get a lot of heavy $50 combinations in Woodbine, like.
In comparison to Truro, a lot of the bettors betting into the Woodbine pool are betting into a bigger common pool, so therefore they go with the win place and show. Also, Woodbine probably only offers 3 to 4 triactors throughout their 11-dash program. So they will bet the triactor, but most of the money does go into the win place and show pool in Woodbine. On the Truro races, they've bet $137 into the win place show pool. On their feature, which would be the Quinella and the triactor combined, they've bet $767. When you move over to the Woodbine, you can see that they've wagered $611 into the win place show pool and $1,503 into the exacta triactor pool. So there is quite a difference in what is being wagered on the win place and show pool. You can see it there.
I find the trend more to the Woodbine.
Yeah. They're betting more money or more?
More money. There's a lot of people know the horses in Truro, but I find bigger wagering from Woodbine.
They bet more money on Woodbine, and they bet more races on Truro.
They actually bet more tickets on Truro?
They'll bet more triactors and exactors on Truro than they will on Woodbine.
This would be the total wager on right up till the end of race 5. And again, this would be right up till the end of race 5 for Truro.
So almost exactly 2 to 1.
2 to 1, roughly. We'd like to be able to accommodate both bettors, give them both, and hope for the best. Hope that maybe the Woodbine bettors will start to bet a little on the Truro, and the Truro bettors would hope to, I guess, bet a little bit on the Woodbine.
It's interesting to see the different betting styles between the bettor who's betting on the Woodbine product versus the bettor who's betting on the Truro product.
And there is quite a difference right now in bettors between Truro and Woodbine. People betting on the Woodbine product are betting a lot more money, almost 2 to 1 right now compared to the Truro Simulcast. And I think the reason is simple. You've got the very large pools, you've got some of the best drivers and horses in North America, and it's just a very attractive product if you are a bettor. I think the key for us here in the Maritimes is to make our own product a little more attractive, especially with simulcasting. And I think if we do that, I think it all can work together and come out very nicely in the end.
Let's take a look now at the $2,000 Claiming Series Final, which came up at Truro Raceway on Sunday afternoon. Reactor Nucleaire off the rail with Scotty Kane is coming off 2 wins in a row.
Reactor Nucleaire will be a threat, I think, off the rail post, coming off a 2-race win streak, like you say. Another one who has won 2 in a row is stablemate Advanced Glance. And another one is the outside post 8 horse Clonmel Tyson, Jimmy Davis driving, also winning 2 in a row going into this race. So this is a very wide open affair. Anybody could win it. And we're going to pick things up now with track announcer Joe Kelly.
Race number 9 of the afternoon, top of the stretch, the $3,300 final of the 2000 Claiming Series has Reactor Nucleaire, PH Terminator, Cyrano de Naval, Township Cassandra, Advanced Glance, Calavretta Ideal, Ecology GB, Clonmel Tyson, Nichols Cole. They are off and pacing. Advanced Glance off the gate quickly looking for the lead. Driving out second is Cyrano de Naval. They race into the first turn. Cyrano de Naval emerging with the top spot. Advanced Glance on the outside is second. Down at the rail, Township Cassandra gets away racing third. Ecology GB is found a seat fourth. In 5 as they head out of the opening quarter, that's Clonmel Tyson. Taking a look in 6, Reactor Nucleaire. Nichols Cole is racing in 7, and Calavretta Ideal is the trailer. They race single file onto the top turn. Out front and leading the way, Cyrano de Naval by 1 length. Advanced Glance has taken a seat second. Moving up first over, Clonmel Tyson racing third. In along the rail and pacing fourth off the top turn is Township Cassandra. Moving off the rail, Ecology GB in 5, Reactor Nucleaire to the outside in 6. They race in front of the stand as they approach the half. And Cyrano de Naval is still leading the way. A quick opening quarter with 28-4 as they move past the half. Cyrano de Naval moving out of the pocket is Advanced Glance. Clonmel Tyson is well spotted outside, racing fourth. And along the rail, saving ground is Township Cassandra. The half in a minute and 4/5 seconds. They move on down the backstretch. Cyrano de Naval still there, 3 parts of a length. Advanced Glance in pursuit second. Township Cassandra at the rail is racing third. Outside and racing fourth and coming 3 wide is Clonmel Tyson. Reactor Nucleaire up 3 wide on the outside fifth. They continue into the turn. That's Clonmel Tyson who takes over the top spot. Has it now by 2 lengths. Reactor Nucleaire up on the far outside. Down at the rail is Cyrano de Naval. But Clonmel Tyson skips off the lead it by 4 lengths. Cyrano de Naval is trying to hang in second. Here comes Nichols Cole from far back in the extreme outside. Off the turn, 132 and 2 was the 3/4. It's all Clonmel Tyson as they race to the payoff. Clonmel Tyson will win the 2000 Claiming Series Final. The battle is for place. Township Cassandra gets second, is close for third.
Tyson KOing that field, Greg.
A real heavyweight bout in that series final. Clonmel Tyson very good again, win number 3 in a row, taking home the big money there.
We're going to go back now to Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, have a look at race number 9 on Saturday afternoon's card. A very competitive 8-horse field.
A non-winners class, 8 horses going behind the gate, a very wide open race here. The favorite possibly number 8, Quail Ridge Roger, Lonnie Stokes driving. Lonnie Stokes having a good season so far at St. John Raceway. Has the tough assignment from the outside post, but could be a definite threat. Another one to watch is number 3, Grammar Girl, John Davidson driving. This one has won 2 of her last 4 going in and should be a threat. Walter Chevrolet gets another drive in here aboard number 7, Springbrook Chip, also a tough assignment from that outside post.
Now the starter has the horses, race number 9, a field of 8. 1, Who's Your General, 2, Inverness Beauty, 3, Grammar Girl, 4, Cathedral Rose, 5, Fly Dini, 6, Counterpart Joe, 7, Springbrook Chip. The outside 8 is Quail Ridge Roger. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Inverness Beauty quickly scoots to the front. Who's Your General gets away second. Racing in third on the outside, Fly Dini. Now moving up to third is Grammar Girl as they go on round the turn for the opening 8. And Fly Dini now has 4th. Up on the outside, Quail Ridge Roger comes to 5th. Racing in 6th, Counterpart Joe, followed by Springbrook Chip and the trailer Cathedral Rose. As they go down the backstretch for the opening quarter, Inverness Beauty cuts it out. Who's Your General looks at it from second. Fly Dini now pacing on the outside third. Racing in 4th is Grammar Girl as they go by the quarter in 31 and 3. Then it is Quail Ridge Roger following cover 5th. Counterpart Joe, Springbrook Chip. And racing 8th is Cathedral Rose as they go on to the 3/8, come off the top turn and race down the stretch for the opening half. Inverness Beauty showing the way. Who's Your General still second. Then racing in third is Fly Dini. Grammar Girl locked in solid 4th. Then it is Quail Ridge Roger, Counterpart Joe, Springbrook Chip, and Cathedral Rose as they reach the half. Inverness Beauty has them by that post in 1:04 and 4. On the outside now, Fly Dini has come to second with Who's Your General in third. Grammar Girl 4th on the inside. Racing in 5th on the outside is Quail Ridge Roger. Now Counterpart Joe shuffling up the inside to 6th. There goes Springbrook Chip 3 wide. And following her, Cathedral Rose as they go down the backstretch for the 3/4. Inverness Beauty's the one to catch. Who's Your General moves up the pylons now to second. Going 3 wide is Grammar Girl. Now 4th, now 3rd, now 2nd. 3/4, 1:37 and 2. Inverness Beauty and Grammar Girl. Who's Your General racing 3rd. Springbrook Chip now to 4th. Then it's Counterpart Joe, Fly Dini, Cathedral Rose, and Quail Ridge Roger. Off the 7/8 and down the stretch they come for the wire. It's Grammar Girl on the outside. Inverness Beauty battling back. On the far outside, Springbrook Chip and Cathedral Rose closing in a hurry as well. As they come to the line, Grammar Girl and Springbrook Chip to the finish. Grammar Girl holds on. Springbrook Chip and looks like Cathedral Rose 4-3. The time for the mile, 2:09 and 2.
John Davidson guiding Grammar Girl to her second win of the 95 season.
John Davidson, one of the top drivers at St. John's Exhibition Park Raceway for the past several years, guiding Grammar Girl to the win there. Springbrook Chip, former CDP campaigner, going a big trip there from the 7 post, falling just a bit short there at the end.
We're going to have our first trivia contest of the 95 season.
Yes, Lloyd, and the trivia question this week for all you viewers out there, we're going to go back to the 1991 season, Lobster Carnival Week at the Summerside Raceway, a week in which the track record fell twice in 1 week. And the question is, which 2 horses broke that track record? If you think you know the answer, you can fax us here. We're accepting answers by fax only, and Lloyd, you can give the viewers the number.
The number for our fax line is 892-2067. And our fax line will be open, Greg, until Saturday evening at 5 o'clock.
And the prize is 2 Gold Cup and Saucer starter shirts, and that's for 2 correct entries. And the winner will be announced on next week's program.
We're going to go to the Charlottetown Driving Park now and look at their feature race from Saturday afternoon. It came up in race number 12. Traveler's coming off a big win in here.
Traveler has a win in his last start, in with a softer field, moves up quite dramatically in here. We'll have to face the likes of Dallas Rocks from the 7 post. Dallas Rocks will probably be one of the favorites going into this race. Another one, number 5, Allen's Birthday. He's been on fire, as everyone knows, winning 6 of his last 8 starts at the CDP. He goes into this race on a hot streak. So those are the 3 to watch as we go into this race.
Race 12, top of the stretch, has 1 Zusta's Prince, 2 Rosina's Row, 3 is Traveler, 4 Special Star, 5, Alan's Birthday, 6, Dusty Lane Mac. 7 outside is Dallas Rocks, trailing horse 8, that is Heritage MH. Here they come. They're up and pacing 4 wide, up and as they leave the gate. Rosina's Road for the light. Traveler Alan's Birthday moving up on the outside, parked out there. Special Star wide in 4. Zasta's Prince comes away in 5. Then it's Heritage Image from 6. Racing in 7, Dusty Lane Mac. And the Dallas Rocks trails up front. Alan's Birthday has made front and controls the field by the opening quarter. Rosina's Road looks at it second. Traveler is pacing third. 4th is Special Star. Zasta's Prince looks at it from 5. There goes Dallas Rocks moving up on the outside from the back. Quarter mile in 30 and 1. Dallas Rocks progressing quickly on the outside. Traveler now moving on Alan's Birthday as they make the turn for the half. Here comes Traveler now to challenge Alan's Birthday. They are racing in pairs up front as they get on by the half-mile mark. Traveler and Alan's Birthday. They go battling by the half. Dallas Rocks is racing third. 4th, Rosina's Road. Dusty Lane Mac wide in 5. Half a mile in 1:01 and 4/5. 3/8 left to go. Alan's Birthday and Traveler take the battle backside. Final time. Dallas Rocks are ready to strike third. 4th outside is Dusty Lane Mac. They're now 3 wide up front as they get on by the 3/4 mile mark. Traveler is going to the top. Alan's Birthday right there second. Dallas Rocks moving up on the outside third. Dusty Lane Mac 4th. Zasta's Prince now 5th. 1:32 and 4 by the 3/4 mile mark. Traveler is taking them on home. On the outside, Dallas Rocks is coming on second. Traveler, Dallas Rocks, a late surge in the outside, right down to the wire. Traveler to win it. Second is Dallas Rocks. It's tight 4-3.
A very impressive trip in there for Traveler and Willie Murphy, 2:03.
Real good trip in there. Traveler coming first over at the half, dueling with Alan's Birthday till the 3/4, and then having to deal with Dallas Rocks in the home stretch. No easy task, but was able to hold him off by a full length at the wire. And Traveler acclaimed for $5,000 a few weeks back. Looks like he may have found his best stride in the last couple of weeks.
We're going to take a look now at the feature from Truro Raceway on Sunday afternoon. 5-horse field in here. Happy Family should be the early favorite.
Happy Family has been one of the most consistent horses in that class the last few weeks. A winner of 2 of his last 4, second on the other 2 occasions. Last time out, parked the entire mile in 1:58 and 3, a phenomenal effort for Happy Family. Just beaten by Rollo Bay Fighter, who is not in this class this week, so that makes things a bit easier as well. No worries, a very consistent horse. No worse than 3rd in 6 of his last 7 starts, so he's always there in the end. Always throws the last quarter around 29-30 seconds, and that may be enough to get the job done. Number 2, Escort Save, another one to watch from the 2-post. Should get a trip, could be dangerous in the end.
Has Don't Tax Me No More, Escort Save, DC Smiles, Happy Family, and No Worries. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Escort Save off the gate first, looking for the early lead. Up on the outside, Happy Family's away second. Don't Tax Me No More at the rail emerges third. DC Smiles, an unhurried 4th, and trailing the field is No Worries. They head by the 8th and on down the backside for the first time. Escort Save intent on the lead. And he drives on to take control. Backing up to fill the gap second is Happy Family. Don't Tax Me No More is pacing along the rail third. Next in line, DC Smiles is 4th. And No Worries is 5th and trailing. Single file as they race on to the 3/8. Up front, Escort Save dictating the early pace. A length and a half lead on Happy Family. The opening quarter in a quick 28 and 4/5 seconds. No change as they move off the top turn. Escort Save still setting the lively clip, a length and a half on Happy Family. Don't Tax Me No More is still at the rail racing third. DC Smiles holds down 4, and No Worries is still 5th. Still no change as they move past the halfway point. Escort Save now moving out of the pocket is Happy Family. Don't Tax Me No More stays out the rail third. DC Smiles underway on the outside to pick up cover in 4. And fifth and trailing, that's still No Worries. A minute, 1/5 was the half. They move on down the backside. Final time, Escort A being pressured by Happy Family. DC Smiles, well spotted on the outside, is pacing third. In along the rail, racing in 4 as they move past 3/4 is Don't Tax Me No More. And No Worries can see them all as they race onto the top turn. Escort A by half a length over Happy Family. Don't Tax Me No More is in along the rail and racing third. At the rail in 4 is No Worries, and DC Smiles is now trailing. Less than 1/8 to come as they move off the top turn. Escort Abe is trying to hold them at bay. Don't Tax Me No More circling up 3 wide. Happy Family third. No Worries in the passing lane. Here they come to the payoff. Don't Tax Me No More up on the far outside is taking over. No Worries in the passing lane. Don't Tax Me No More wins it. Second is No Worries. Third, Escort Abe.
Phil Pinckney and Don't Tax Me No More coming up with a huge effort in there, Greg.
It seems to be the trend lately. Whatever Phil Pinckney has in that top class at Truro, he seems to win with. Rollo Bay Fighter had been on a roll the last few weeks. Rollo Bay Fighter out this week, comes in with Don't Tax Me No More. Looked really, frankly, like he didn't suit that class and came up with a big upset victory and beat a pretty nice bunch of horses. Happy Family, number 4, very disappointing effort for him. Got a relatively easy trip compared to what he's used to on most occasions and just didn't fire at all today.
We're going to go back now to Woodbine Raceway and have a look at a free-for-all race that came up on Saturday afternoon. Arrive at 5, facing some pretty stiff competition in here.
4 speedballers going head-to-head with Arrive at 5 in this one. The best horses on the OJC right now going head-to-head. A music director will be probably the stiffest challenger. He's in from the Meadowlands, where he's been racing in the Presidential Series there, and even won a leg of that last week. So he's fresh off that. Could be some stiff competition for Arrive at 5.
And it will be San Francisco Irv with Paul McDonnell. Then Arrive at 5 and Bill Gale, music director for Mike Safdie. Odds against Steve Condren and Blatantly Bald on the outside with Roger Mayotte. It's post time for the second. Under starter's command, the second race. Free-for-allers in motion. Here they come. They're off in pacing San Francisco Irv and Arrive at 5, going to sprint out on the inside. Blatantly Bald on the outside. Arrive at 5 is first to the lead. Blatantly Bald is driving on over to the first turn. San Francisco Irv is third along the inside. Then music director and Odds Against will be last away. Blatantly Bald will lead him at the quarter pole. Arrive at 5 to travel in from second. Then San Francisco Irv is third. Music director second from last, just ahead of Odds Against. Blatantly Bald the quarter in 27-4. Blatantly Bald leading him into the backstretch. Arrive at 5 is in for the trip. In second and lengths third to San Francisco Irv. Music director fourth, and Odds Against. Arrive at 5 isn't waiting. He's already moving up on the outside way before the half to engage Blatantly Bald. Arrive at 5 is overtaking Blatantly Bald. Arrive at 5 has made the front. There's the half. 56 seconds, 28-1. In the second panel, the field is extremely well spread out, about 7 lengths front to back. And it is Arrive at 5 now on the lead. Blatantly Bald yielded and sits in second. Then San Francisco Irv, music director, starts to the outside from fourth, and Odds Against remains in fifth. Arrive at 5 is at the last turn. Blatantly Bald, the next closest pursuer, then San Francisco Irv. Music director is to within 4 lengths now, and Odds Against is fresh on the outside fifth. The 3/4, 124-2. And they're at the top of the stretch. Arrive at 5. Blatantly Bald, music director has come on to be third. Then San Francisco Irv and Odds Against. Blatantly Bald has come back out again. Blatantly Bald and Arrive at 5 dueling the entire length of the lane. Arrive at 5 and Blatantly Bald, a classic stretch-long duel of the free-for-allers. Here is the finish. Arrive at 5 digs in to win it by a head over Blatantly Bald. Then music director, San Francisco Irv and Odds Against in 153.
Another ferocious stretch drive for Arrive at 5.
The stretch battles continue at Woodbine. That long stretch always entertaining, and nice to see the free-for-allers, the best horses in Canada right now, going head-to-head. Arrive at 5 got the best of it on this day in an excellent time, 153.
We're going to check in now with Mike Brown for his weekly installment of It's Their Call.
This week, Mike, once again, is going to review how you go about becoming a judge or an official at a racetrack, and he's got some good advice for our viewers coming up now.
Well, this week we're not actually going to cover any rules, Lloyd. We're going to answer a reply we had from a listener inquiring as to how one might become a race official. First of all, we're going to look at the different officials that are involved in running a race card and what their roles are. Starting off, of course, we have the race secretary who puts the race card together, and I think we covered that pretty good last week when we were talking about the different classes of races. Assisting the race secretary very closely, we have the clerk of the course. She is, I suppose, similar to what you'd call a secretary. She's responsible for keeping all the records in order, the eligibility certificates. She helps people in applying for licenses, doing transfers of ownerships, and just about any other job associated with the races. Kathy Carriger is our clerk of the course here, and she does an excellent job, both in assisting the race secretary and the judges. Other officials that are involved in the race card, of course, there's the presiding judge and 2 associate judges at each race card. The presiding judge and their associates, they watch the warming up of the horses, they observe the races themselves for any violation of the rules, and basically they run the race program once it's put together by the race secretary. All 3 judges have an equal say in any decision, but of course the presiding judge is in charge and he has the final decision. Now, the presiding judge also has supervision over the patrol judges, the paddock judge, the starter, and the timers. The patrol judges work on each turn, and they report any infraction that may have happened or may have an effect on the outcome of a race that they observe while the race is actually going on. We use the starter on one turn as a patrol judge, and we have one on by the quarter pole during the summer meet acting as patrol judge as well. They're in communication with the judges' stand, and they report anything prior to the judges making the race official. The paddock judge, he has a big job. He is the one that's responsible for putting each race on the track, ready to race. We run a 3-race paddock here at the Charlottetown Driving Park, which means that the horses that are programmed must be in the paddock 3 races prior to their scheduled race. This gives the paddock judge and his staff an opportunity to check each horse to ensure that they're properly equipped, to have the right saddle pad, the right head number, and the right driver is there to drive them. Once the judge's stand calls the paddock for the race, then the paddock judge sends them on the track. Now, the timer, of course, is the person who times the race, and the timing of the race actually starts with the first horse to break the plane of the wire. It ends again, then, of course, when the first horse to break the plane finishing the wire. Some people are under a misconception that it starts when the starter says go, but if the starter happens to say go a few feet before the wire, then the timer waits until that first horse breaks the plane of the wire. He posts the quarter, the half, and the 3/4 time, and the final time of the mile on the infield tote board. The starter, well, his job, I think, is self-explanatory. He actually starts the race. When the judge's stand gives the starter the word that we're ready to start, he calls the horses to the gate, and he proceeds everly increasing his speed until he reaches the wire, and he's doing approximately 30 to 35 miles an hour when the gate actually leaves the wire. And once the horses are released from the starter, then, of course, the race begins, and the judge's role takes over then. The starter has control of the horses from the formation of the post braid, or when the gate actually starts moving, until the word go is given. And he, of course, then is responsible for recalls or any horses that refuse to come up to the gate, or any horse that breaks equipment before the start, or recalls, which we covered in a previous program. Now, how does one get to be an official, or how do you get a license? Well, first of all, you have to be a member of the United States Trotting Association or the Canadian Trotting Association. You also must have a membership in the Maritime Provinces Harness Racing Commission. Now, certain positions, such as judge, clerk, race secretary, they require that you write an examination. They also require that you attend an official school. Now, these schools are put on by the United States Trotting Association at Columbus each year, but they're also put on in the different districts of the United States Trotting Association, such as the Maritime Provinces, which is District 10, if there is sufficient demand for it. The United States Trotting Association will send people up here to put on the school. Now, of course, basic knowledge of horse racing is required, but it's something that can be learned as you go along, and the main thing is, I think, is you have to have a real love for the industry. One other question we had recently, too, that we'll answer tonight is, can an owner bet on his horse? And the simple answer is yes, you can bet on your horse. However, you must bet him in the win position. That also applies to feature races such as triactors or exactors. You can bet your horse, but he must be in the win position. That's it for tonight, Lloyd.
Some great advice there from Mike Brown for anyone interested in becoming a racing official here in the Maritimes.
Exactly, and more racing officials are needed here at racetracks throughout the Maritimes. If you are interested in becoming an official, we recommend that you contact your local member of the USTA. And on the island here, that's Paul McKinnon of Clyde River.
That's all for this evening's show. We hope you'll join us again next week for another action-packed hour of exciting harness racing action here on Stretch Drive. We're going to leave you now with some upcoming events at a racetrack near you.
For your comments or story ideas, you can write Stretch Drive at Box 561, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, C1A 7L1. That's Box 561, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, C1A 7L1. You may also phone on race days at 628-1390. As well, our fax line is now up and running at 892-2067.
Southern California's